So after I wrote the other article that I read out, titled, "Is it time for humanity to deal with their shadow?" I wrote another article about what is going on. And this one is titled, "Is the war a reflection of what is taking place inside the collective consciousness?" And this is why I said, right now, there is a war taking place in Ukraine and hundreds of innocent people are being killed. If someone watches TV or has a smartphone, they are likely to have heard a lot about what is going on. Due to this, they could be deeply worried about what is going on, and this could make it hard for them to focus on other areas of their life. Furthermore, after what took place with the contagion and what is still taking place, and now this, they could wonder what will be next. Part of them could fear that there will end up being another world war, and this could mean that they will experience a fair amount of fear and anxiety. As of late, it may have even been hard for them to fall asleep at night. If they are in this position, they are not going to be the only ones. Most likely there will be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are in the same position. Still, if they are in this position, what they can keep in mind is that they are not living in a country that is at war. This is not to say that this will allow them to feel at ease, but it is certainly something that they can be grateful for. Along with this, they could look into if there is anything that they can do to make a difference. Perhaps the most obvious thing would be for them to donate to a charity that is helping to provide support for the Ukrainian people. When it comes to what is going on, it could be said that there is a war going on out there, and that's all there is to it. There will then be those who are bad and those who are good. And there will be those who are playing a part in what is going on and those who aren't. And as they are against what is taking place and don't live in this country, they will be the good ones and they won't be playing a part in what is going on. This is something that is so obvious that it doesn't need to be said. Not only will this apply to them, it is also something that will apply to most of the people on the planet. After all, if this wasn't the case, there would be far more wars and the planet would be one big war zone. It could be said that the average person just wants to live a peaceful life, and if they don't get on with another person, they would rather avoid them than fight them, let alone kill them. Therefore, there is only a small part of the population that is interested in harming others. Now, although it can seem as though there are the ones who are bad, and those who are good, and those who are playing a part in what is going on, and those who aren't, what if there is far more to it? What if someone can come across as good and be filled with bad? And what if they can be playing a part in something, even if it is thousands of miles away, and they are against it? Upon hearing this, they could wonder what is being said and believe that they are being seen as something that they are not, and are being held accountable and even blamed for something that has nothing to do with them. If they do, this is likely to show that they see themselves as beginning and ending with their conscious mind, and as being nothing more than an observer of reality. As a result of this, it is to be expected that they will only see themselves as being purely good, and not having anything in common with those who are bad, and what is going on out there won't have anything to do with them. However, along with their conscious mind, they also have an unconscious mind that will, among other things, contain parts of themselves that are seen as bad and painful feelings. Their extroverted intellect will give them the sense that they are simply an observer of life, when in reality They are a co-creator of it. Seeing themselves in this way will allow them to have their own experience, but it is still an illusion. Without this understanding in place, what is going on out there will be the issue. It will then be normal for them, along with a large part of the population, to focus solely on what is taking place externally, whilst what is taking place inside the collective consciousness will be largely overlooked. With this understanding in place, what is going on out there will be seen as a reflection of what is taking place at a conscious and unconscious level for them and for humanity as a whole. This will then allow them, along with their fellow human beings, to not simply focus on an effect, but to deal with the cause, and thus to create change at a fundamental level. For example, so if someone resonates with what has been said, they could ask themselves if they are at war with themselves or anyone in their life. By doing this, they may see that there is a war taking place inside them and around them. And this could be more like a covert as opposed to an overt war. Another part of this will be for them to connect to how they feel when they think about what is going on and are exposed to media coverage. This can shed light on the feelings that have been held inside their unconscious mind/body. The next stage will be for them to process the pain that they have unknowingly been carrying around. This is not to say that this is a time for them to lay into themselves and to blame themselves for what is going on, something that can happen if they have a strong inner critic. It is simply about them stepping back and looking into how their own consciousness is shaping their own life and what is taking place on the planet. If the above does happen, and they find it hard to face their pain and end up blaming themselves or others, it is likely to show that they will need to develop a stronger ego. Once this part of them is strong enough, it will give them the ability to work through their own inner wounds. Final thoughts. Focusing purely on what is going on externally is something that has taken place for many, many years, and the large part of humanity has seen themselves as passive observers of reality for just as long. The outcome of this is that what is going on out there can change, but most of what is held inside the collective consciousness, the field where everything exists before it materializes in the physical plane, will stay the same. Perhaps this is why history continually repeats itself, even though so many people know about the bad things that have happened in the past. This is then no different to how so many people know that exercise is important, but not everyone does it. But if someone only had a conscious mind and this part of them was always in control over how they behaved, knowing something at a head level would be enough. What this illustrates is how important it is for them to work through what is held inside their unconscious mind, and by doing this, they will change what is held inside the collective consciousness and thereby help to co-create a different world. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.